Welcome to this week's edition of the College Heights Huddle. I'm Assistant Sports Editor Michael Givner, and I am joined by my lovely bestie,
sports reporter Peyton Reid.
Yeah, that's him. And today we're opening this pod with men's basketball.
2 games this week, or this weekend, kind of.
Thursday, and
yes,
we'll talk about that Thursday game.
Yeah.
Second, let's talk about that Saturday game. Got the win.
They did. Played FIU and Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State on Thursday, FIU on Saturday.
Correct.
WKU played really well in the FIU game.
50-point second half.
Yes.
What I saw, that was good.
Definitely a lot better than their first game on Thursday. But once again, they continue to be a second half team. And I think I'm beginning to have a problem with it because you can't just always rely on your second half to win you the game. They're really good in the second half, but they consistently struggle with opening the game.
I 100% agree. That didn't work like I thought it would. They look good. You know, they had most of their full strength.
Yeah. Which I do want to talk about Cam Hafner. He's been healthy, just has not been in the starting lineup or in the rotation at all. Last game was at January 24th, and he came in on Saturday, put up 16 points, the second leading scorer on the night. And if he can fully find a role in his senior season with WKU, his first season with WKU, I think he could be really good off the bench. But Hank Polona, it's very interesting because when you talk, he mentioned how it's been his decision not to play Cam Hafner. But then at the press conference on Saturday, he mentioned how Cam Hafner had tweaked his ankle against Louisiana Tech a few weeks back. So kind of conflicting arguments. Is he healthy or is he not? But it was good to see him come in and put up points like he did.
However, before the Hilltoppers snapped their 5-game losing streak, it was 5, dating back to like January.
Yeah.
Thursday
was a game.
Thursday was the game. It was my first game in Diddle this school year.
Mm-hmm.
Decided, as the, column writer, might as well stop in. And I was just,
It was insane, quite frankly.
No field goal.
If you fully want to hear Michael's opinion, you can check out his opinion piece.
I wrote an opinion piece on it.
For it.
I could be more openly against what happened on the game over here versus the column. Because, I'm not so hungry. Because that was bad.
It was awful.
The refs were walking around with their, seeing dogs, with the sticks that they, used, for the bumps in the road on the sidewalks and stuff like that. They were blind. The rest were blind. One of the Jacksonville State guys stepped out of bounds, and they were like,
he did.
Nah. And, everybody in Diddle in that area, pointed at it. It was so funny.
It was, first off, very sloppy. Both teams did not play well at all.
It took Western 8 minutes to score.
Yeah.
Their first field goal of the game.
It was 3-2 the first 7 minutes of the game.
How that game got to 71 and 66 points, I could not tell you. But, Western shot, 6 of 32?
Yeah.
In the first half?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was bad. And you would think that Jacksonville State not hitting a three-pointer in the second half at all. They went, 0 for 5.
Yeah.
Western would have pulled that game off. Jacksonville State attempted 50 free throws in the game.
There were 74 free throws shot between two teams, and Jacksonville State got 50 of them.
Jacksonville State won the rebound battle 45-34. It's the sheer volume of free throws. Western had 88% free throws shooting. They shot 21 of 24, but they still lost because Jacksonville State shot 50 free throw attempts and made 36 of them. It's they made one three-pointer the whole game. I need you to let that sink in. They made one the whole game.
And obviously, everyone wants to keep their money, so Hank Plona kind of took it as he's not going to talk too much about the officiating, but it was interesting how he talked about Jacksonville State.
Strange.
He called
the game. Way to put it.
The game was strange.
He talked about how they weren't really playing basketball; they were just like going for fouls. They were, SGAS.
There was one foul Plona mentioned in his press conference, which I think everyone's going to mention. It was towards the end of the second half, and Jacksonville State's player went into the WKU defender and got a foul when there was no contact.
I mean, he just threw his body into the WKU defender and drew the foul. Like I said in my column, it was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah. I thought that was him on the floor doing that. It was crazy, just foul baiting, and there was multiple technicals.
There was 4 technicals in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Double on Plona and the Jacksonville State head coach, whose name is not coming to me right now, and then double technicals on the players. 2 WKU players received flagrants and were ejected.
Yes. It was ugly.
It was very ugly.
And then there were whispers after the game of the post game handshake lines that hands were not being shook.
When I looked at it, it looked like they just briefly did it, kept it moving. But another source that was at the game working it said that they didn't shake hands at all.
So definitely something to keep an eye on, especially if these two teams have to play come March.
Because Jacksonville State's head coach, who I'm going to look up the name of now so I can say it properly.
He had a history at WKU. He has a history at WKU. I can't think of his name now.
It's not coming to me, but I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Hold up.
Thank you.
Not football. Ray Harper. He used to be at Western. Sorry, that took forever.
He did.
Ray Harper used to be at Western.
And for quite a bit, right?
It was he left on ugly terms. I think he was there for a bit.
Wasn't it 12 years he was here or something?
I think so, yeah.
It was something like that, but yes.
The terms were ugly. You could see the bad blood.
Yeah.
He was taunting the players at times,
It was...
He was... What was it he was doing? And I pointed out to you. He was No, it was when what's-his-name fouled out, and he was waving him to go on ahead and go to the bench. Yeah.
It was also interesting. Jacksonville State wanted to challenge everything.
The amount of stoppages of play
the same thing. He said it seemed like they wanted to challenge everything. And I don't know the full time window, but you only get a certain amount of time to challenge a play, and they had waited 3 or 4 minutes and wanted to challenge a play.
The rest were getting them whatever they wanted, to be honest.
Yeah.
Lots of Western players getting hacked and destroyed, and they were not calling it. A lot of missed travel calls.
Yes.
I'd never seen anybody with that much travel miles built up. They were going on vacations, bro.
Yeah, it was definitely but it was a good game. Environment was great.
I never heard Diddle that loud.
Environment was great. The past 2 games, FIU's crowd was great. So if they continue to play like they did against FIU, have to welcome in Middle Tennessee State after just beating them a few games ago. They play them on Valentine's Day, which isn't very fitting. It's called the 100 Miles of Hate, and they're playing on Valentine's Day. So
no hate like Western love.
Exactly. But currently, WKU sits 13-11, 6-7 in conference play. I believe is 8th, 7th, maybe 7th.
1.
Yeah.
7th, yes. They could move up as close as even 3 if they can win out.
I think 3, 4, and 5. Those the chances of them moving up to there are very likely. This is a very tough conference. other than Liberty, every team has at least 4 losses.
Liberty is just doing some different stuff this season. I'm going to be so real. MTSU has lost 5 straight. Mm-hmm. They're vulnerable. You can win that game, get back to even in the conference. You win that game, you sit 7-7 in the conference. Mm-hmm. You know, Kennesaw State 6-6, La Tech 6-6, Missouri State 7-5.
There's room to move. And
did I say Missouri State?
Yeah.
Okay, I said it right. There's room to move up, get some good position for the tournament.
I think they could end a top 4 team. There's a possibility.
We'll revisit this, but you know,
they do have to play Liberty again.
I don't know if they're gonna go. They're not going into Lynchburg and winning that game.
I don't think so. But
handle your games at home. You got UTEP to end the season before the conference tournament. You got Delaware on the road, but it's Delaware. Like,
it'll be fun. Last month.
5 games left. Handle business. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
It's just kidding. It's not 5 games. It's 7. But
still, they still have to go out and play.
Exactly.
Hopefully get Tegan Moore back. He's missed 4 games. 5. Yeah, 4 or 5 games. Need him back. But, yeah, that's, I think, all we have for men's basketball this week.
That's about it. Go handle business, team.
We are kicking it to our wonderful friends covering women's basketball.
Malone and Adrianna.
Thank you, Peyton and Michael Givner Jr.
Peyton and then legal name.
A legal name.
Michael
I didn't say his middle name.
You know what I meant.
My name is Malone Farmer. I am the podcast producer and the women's basketball commentary writer, and I am here with...
I'm Adrianna Lein. I am the women's basketball beat writer.
And it is the 1-year anniversary of the College Heights Huddle.
We're going to throw them. 1, 2, 3. Hey! Boom! Boom! I'm sorry, intrusive thought. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a whole year, man. Well, not we. You weren't there.
Yes, I was. Not the first one.
Yeah.
But I was here.
Well, you were on sports staff. I was here. I was here in this room.
I was not.
As it was recorded.
'Twas not. I 'twas not.
You twere not. I twere.
No, I 'twas.
Yeah,
You wouldn't say I were,
was.
silly goose.
I 'twas. Well, I was thinking more about the twere than the actual grammar of the statement. Let's talk about some WKU women's basketball. It's been a time for the team.
All I can do is just shake my head.
They've extended their losing streak since we last talked about them to 7 games in a row, which means...
You need 2 hands to count that.
That's true, which is more hands than I would like to be counting with.
Correct.
They are 11... They've lost 11 of 12 games in conference.
I haven't played that many conference games.
Or, sorry, not in conference.
It's more than that.
They have lost 11 of their past 12 games, is what I meant to say. The only loss that they've had in the past 12 games is, or the only win they got, it was against UTEP.
Yes.
Which is long in the rearview mirror for this team. They were just completely outplayed by FIU and Missouri State. FIU outscored them. Both teams outscored them by over 20. Mm-hmm. FIU out-rebounded them by like 22 or something like that. FIU had 2 players with double-digit rebounds. They had a player with 11 and a player with 13. I don't remember their names, but...
One of them was probably Reid Collins, who leads Conference USA in like every notable stat. Points, rebounds, and someone else too.
It seemed doomed from the start, but the night was not without its highlights. Trinity Rowe against FIU had 17 points, which is pretty notable.
Correct.
I think the most points that she's had all season.
I think so too. I didn't want to put season high though because I didn't have time to go back and check. But I'm almost sure.
I mean, it's one of the women's basketball season highs for points.
Yes.
The only players with points higher than that are Salma Kador and Zofia Talegdi, who had a 20-point game, and Salma has put up like in the 18-point range a couple times. But God, still truly watching the team get slaughtered on the court. It wasn't especially against Missouri State, wasn't even close. They scored 3 in the first quarter, which is impressively bad. How much did Missouri State score in that first quarter, Adrianna? 21 points. Not good for WKU to have scored 3 points in response. That's bad for all the listeners at home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to know what to say when the team was just outplayed, you know?
Yes, that's very much an issue I have consistently run into because it's just it's exactly what you just said. Like, if they just get outplayed in every single way, like that's just what happened. Like,
yeah.
There's not much more to it.
No, there's not. Unfortunately, there's not really some in-depth analysis. You know, we can't be Stephen A. Smith right now. All we can say is just like, yeah, they were bad and they didn't play very well. And one player had a really good game. Salma continues to be pretty consistent. She put up 9 points against Florida International and then put up 10 points against Missouri State. She's consistently the highest scorer on the team. Against Missouri State, Trinity didn't have nearly as good of a game. But Salma, continues to be very consistent. But, there's not much else to say. The team struggled. They struggled against both opponents, as they have with seemingly every opponent the past, 20 games. They can't seem to get a foothold. There's no rhythm or groove created in their playing. It's just kind of like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if something sticks, and nothing has stuck. It's rather unfortunate.
Precisely.
Yeah, sorry. I just wrote my column, or I just finished my column.
I was going to say, these stats are off the top of your head.
Yeah, I just finished writing my column, so I have a lot of thoughts about this.
Yes.
What stuck out to you, if anything?
Roe.
Yeah. I really hope she stays.
If not, I'm scared.
Trinity Rowe, please do not leave WKU women's basketball.
Don't do that to us.
I don't know. I don't know. Not much to say.
I mean,
it's a sinking ship, man.
It's been a sinking ship.
If they want to do anything, if they can pull out one win.
Let's go through the schedule and see. Let's make predictions on which game
we
think is
win.
winnable. That we think is winnable.
Okay, let's look at these games. I know the next game is Kennesaw State. They're finally returning home.
I have my answer.
And then they'll play Jack State, who they already lost to. I know. Middle Tennessee, who they already lost to. Delaware, Liberty, Missouri State, FIU.
I have gold and silver.
I think that the most winnable games are against Kennesaw and Delaware.
My picks were Kennesaw and Liberty.
I can see that. I don't disagree with you. In I think that Delaware is winnable. I don't think Delaware is out of grasp for I think
that's true. I would say that's another good one.
I think Delaware and Liberty are on similar playing levels. They're ranked back-to-back in CUSA standings.
Yeah.
I think that which do you think is more winnable?
Between Liberty and Delaware?
Or Kennesaw State as well. I think it's Kennesaw State. They have a worse record overall, and I think it would be possible.
let's inform the masses. Kennesaw sits at 9th, Delaware's 8th, and Liberty's 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty and Delaware are technically tied for
Yeah.
7th because they have a 5-6 conference record.
Liberty's overall record is I mean, their overall records are about the same, actually. Kennesaw State is 4-7, and they have an 11-11 overall. I think Kennesaw is the more winnable game, but I think, because here's the thing, it's pretty predictable to say, like, oh, they lose games, but on the overall, Western is a pretty unpredictable team as to, like, how they will perform in what areas. Like, they'll lose, probably, but they might overperform in a certain area, you know, or randomly a player like Trinity Rowe randomly got 17 points, that kind of thing. One of those games could be one of those, but instead of them losing, they could win. I could see that happening. And maybe they could miraculously win 2 games. And we could see them move over UTEP in conference standings. UTEP is 2-9 on the season, or on conference play, and Western, they're the only win that WKU got in conference play. So I think that that's possible, perhaps, but.
Oh, let's note that the win over UTEP was at home. And so the conference away record is 0-7.
Yeah, they are 0-7 in away games.
In conference.
In conference, yes. The Delaware game and the Liberty game are both away, which is bad because they are historically this season have not done well. But playing away. But the Kennesaw State game is a home game, which means that there is potential for them to do something there.
Also, something to note, the Kennesaw State game this Thursday is at 11 a.m. And so I think both teams will be a little uncomfortable because the earliest they'll play noon games, but it'll be on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And so I think
doing
both
an 11 a.m. Thursday game is so strange.
Both sides of the floor, I think, will just be out of sync. And so I think that further adds that, maybe they could win this game because everybody's kind of like thrown off. It's a home game.
And WKU is used to being thrown off, but Kennesaw State is not. And so they could play it to their advantage. But yeah, that's about all I can think to talk about with this team, unless you've got something else.
No, I wish I did.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there was something else to talk about.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's
7
they've got more games.
7 games left on the season, and if if they can pick up a game, maybe they can, maybe they can do something. I don't know, but let's hand it over to you and David with some bat and ball sports on the hill.
Let's do it.
Next, you'll see David in my seat.
I'm staying here.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Malone. I am Adrianna Lein, like I said, and this time I'm the softball beat reporter, and with me is
David Quintanilla, Español editor and fill-in baseball reporter.
Yeah. So we're just going to talk about I'm mainly going to talk about softball and their season opening weekend, and then we're going to touch on baseball because they kick off their 2026 season this upcoming weekend.
Yes, sir.
So I'll get into softball for a little bit. Softball, comparing opening weekend 2025 versus 2026, complete opposite. Last year they went 1-4 opening weekend. This weekend they went 4-1. Really, really good start because a common theme of last year's season was they were just slow to start in general. And so it was really nice seeing, for the most part, the Hilltoppers getting out to a quick start. And the thing that led the way was definitely the pitching. Most notably, Erica Hogue. She's a sophomore, right-hander from Collins, Iowa. She did absolutely phenomenal. Like, she never pitched more than or less than 5 innings, I think. Rarely ever gave up any runs. Like, she had a complete game in their 4th game of the weekend, which was against Georgia Southern. She threw just 63 pitches. That is not a lot at all. Like, that's very, very few. The efficiency is insane. It's unfathomable. But she did great along with the other Hilltopper pitching staff members. And, yeah, they were able to take home a 4-1 record to kick off the season.
Fire.
Absolutely fire. Next weekend, they have another non-conference. It's not a tournament. It's just like a weekend. It's the MUSB Invitational in Macon, Georgia. I assume Macon University Softball Invitational.
That would be correct.
Yeah, so they'll play again Friday through Sunday. But, yeah, that's my big takeaways. Also, something that I noticed was, for the most part, when keeping up with the live stats of the game, I was kind of expecting for there to be more variation. There was, but there's a couple of transfers, and they're both coming from – one's coming from NKU or EKU, and the other's from UK. So I was expecting to see them get involved in the lineup, and I didn't as much as I thought, which is fine. I'm sure they'll get mixed in somehow, or sometime. But those were my takeaways.
Good weekend for softball.
Good weekend for softball.
Oh, good
weekend
for
for the
softball.
Hilltoppers.
Hey. So for baseball, kicking off the season finally. It's a 4-game series against BYU this weekend, starting on Friday and ending on Monday because BYU does not play on Sundays.
Right.
Yeah, so doubleheader. It's a doubleheader on Saturday. That will be just absolutely phenomenal. Some doubleheader Valentine's Day baseball. Excited for that. But this is the first time 2 programs play each other, which is kind of interesting. I think it's just really interesting how a school like BYU is coming here to kick off the season. After such a great season, it seems like they picked a pretty good non-conference schedule to kick off the season. Mm-hmm. But this series, it's a good start to see how the Hilltoppers are lining up this season. With infinite number of transfer outs and Reid having to basically remake his whole roster over the off season. BYU last year were 28-27, so that is not like the Hilltopper schedule last year.
I was gonna say, didn't they? It was a 40-win season, wasn't it?
Yeah. They were 16-15 away. So
BYU.
BYU, yeah. So I know historically BYU is not one of the better baseball programs, but it is just a bigger school than Western is. So it'll still be interesting to see how they fare up against them.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's all.
Just to circle back because, oops, I didn't think about it. The Hilltoppers this upcoming weekend at the MUSB Invitational, they will face Army softball team. They'll face Mercer and the University of Iowa, which I'm very excited for that game. Yeah, I'm excited. But hopefully it'll be a good weekend. And then the following weekend, they'll come home to host the Hilltopper Classic.
That's a classic.
Mint that one.
0 out of 10 joke. I think that's all we got, though, for Bat and Ball Sports on the Hill.
Bat and Ball Sports on the Hill.
Well, I guess we're the last ones. We'll thank you guys for watching so much, and we hope you have a great week.